All right, bless everyone. Welcome to another weekly reading on my channel. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. I will give you all some time to join in. And I know I was like 1 or 2 minutes late, so sorry about that, you guys. But I'm so excited to connect with you today, and we have a lot of messages to share, lots of information to go over for this week. 5/19 today to 5/26 next week. Bliss, Leo. So lots of energy coming up, lots of things to talk about. I want to do a little bit of a review of last week while everybody joins so that we can all get connected and get settled in before we really get into this week coming up. So let's go ahead and go over some of the energy from last week. Hey Josie, good morning. So last week, our cards for last week, okay, wisdom, power, and devil's play. Okay, so let's go over that. Wisdom in the beginning of the week, we were feeling a lot of our divine wisdom, understanding our wisdom from a lot of ancestral wisdom and also wisdom that we received over a lot of the weekend, and also feeling into the wisdom of Mother's Day and that divine feminine wisdom as well, the intuition. And then power in the middle of the week, feeling into our sense of self, our ability to feel empowered, to understand our spiritual power in conjunction with that wisdom, and being able to take that into a more balanced approach. And then at the end of the week, this weekend specifically, is the devil's play card, the debauchery card, the little bit of the mischievous energy that is around us, that is encouraging us to play a little bit with understanding our shadow, or at least understanding where our shadow plays and how it plays, because there is a necessary balance in that way. Stop licking, Gio. My dog does this nervous licking thing. Stop licking, please. Go lay down. Go lay down. Thank you. Thanks. So let's talk about going forward, because I know that a lot of us had that energy this weekend with the devil's play card and feeling into a little bit of our understanding of certain aspects of our shadow, but also understanding that when we feel into our ability to create from that understanding, to be conscious of our shadow a little bit, to understand that our shadow isn't necessarily always negative, that sometimes it just likes to be a little mischievous. It just likes to go out with friends, or it likes to go do something spontaneous, or it likes to go enjoy something that is really new and exciting and maybe not so high vibrational. Maybe you go out and drink a lot, or maybe you go even something that is high vibrational. I know some people were reaching out to me over this week about that card specifically, and they were talking about psychedelics and different kind of things like that, which is kind of a very high vibration to tap into, but it is a little bit of that mischievous, that debauchery, that kind of sense of letting go of control and kind of letting yourself play. And so that was really what we were feeling this weekend. And I think that came out a lot with the full moon as well. A lot of us felt a lot of energy last night with the full moon. We did a lot of clearing and letting go with the full moon as well. And we also want to make sure that we give thanks, right? I had a comment below last night that reminded us to give thanks of everything that we have manifested in our life up until that full moon period, to really be able to feel that sense of gratitude and fullness from that. And also to be able to be grateful for letting go and releasing. And a lot of us let go of control this weekend, and that's kind of where that debauchery card, that devil's play card, comes in as well, is surrendering control and just letting yourself go with what you want, your true heart's desire, and not feeling ashamed or frightened or doubtful of your own heart's desire. Instead, choosing to accept your truth and live in it and embody it to the point of balance that is necessary for your peace and for your ability to express yourself in its entirety. So that's really what we were feeling. Now I want to go forward. Let me look at the comments so far. And hey, Gio Neo, good to see you. Everybody's here. Peace Like a River's here. Linda Lacey's here. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to stay long, Linda. It's so nice to see you. Okay, so let's go into this upcoming week, right? 519 is today, and I think it's interesting because 519 and 2019. So there's a symbolic energy with 19s, a repetitive 19 in this date. And it's really important that we allow ourselves to feel into the energy of that number. What does 19 really symbolize? Well, we have the 1, which is connecting to our alignment, our intuition, our first step in our spiritual journey, our ability to be able to feel completely individual in our path. And then we have the 9, we have the completion number, we have the endings, we have everything that we have been working for. We have those manifestations and those grateful moments. We have all of that. So we're able to really connect in that way and feel very understanding of our ability to let go, our ability to have closure, our ability to move forward, and our ability to make sure that that full moon that we had last night in Scorpio was not taken for granted, that we took advantage of all of the energy of release and letting go that we needed to. Okay? Now, let's go into this week, 519 to 526. So with this, we have a lot of spirit messages. So I'm going to go over that first. Debauchery is what we just talked about, and going into this upcoming week, debauchery, that energy that we were just talking about, is giving us balance. Okay, it's giving us balance because if you remember over the last couple of months, we've been really high up in our spirit and really activated by cosmic energy and angelic energy and all of these different guide connections and all of these awarenesses and new perspectives and clear healing and cleansings and all of these things. So that debauchery gave us a little sense of being able to play around with the balance that we have, the duality in our body after coming out of all of the heavy, dense energies that really wasn't going to ever let us play, because anytime we would want to play in a more rooted vibration, because I don't want to say a heavier or deeper vibration or lower vibration, because it's not a lower vibration. It's a sensual vibration. We talked about sensuality last week. It's a playful vibration. It's an intimate vibration, and it's a rooted Mother Earth creative vibration. And we don't really get to go into that vibration if we've had a lot of trauma or we've had a lot of experience where that vibration feels very scary and we feel like we need to fight our ways out or be very defensive, okay? So what we want to do with this balance going forward is we want to allow ourselves to feel really calm and understanding that contentment that we have within us after being able to let a little bit of that energy of debauchery out, and now merging that with our higher minds and all of the activations we've gotten from our spirit over the last few weeks, being able to now come together and realize that we are balanced. We are feeling that balance, and we then have a new understanding from that balance, which is the next spirit message. So we're coming into a divine wisdom even more this week with a clear understanding of our balance and a clear understanding of exactly where our balance started and where it ends. So allowing ourselves to know when we start to get out of balance and when we are in balance and how to stay there. So we're finding a divine contentment this week, a divine peace, okay? So we want to grasp the importance even more of our self-certainty this week. That's what we want to do for the spirit messages on the third aspect of it, is grasping the importance of self-certainty, which means releasing doubt of our intuition. Releasing doubt of our intuition is so crucial. My dog is scratching. My boyfriend is snoring, so we're just gonna keep going with it, okay? If you hear them, then just know that we're in the family. You guys are in the Vibe Tribe family. I'm in the middle of the living room, and we're in the zone, okay? So so grasping the importance of self-certainty, let's keep going on that. Releasing doubt of intuition. So intuition becomes our survival tool. It becomes our tool for success as well. It becomes our ability to feel completely self-certain. But we have to give that power, that sense of control up from the mind, from the egoic center. And we have to allow ourselves to start really getting into the understanding of this intuition that we have is something to trust. It is safe to experience it. It is safe to follow it. It is okay to be able to move into self-certainty through your intuition, to be able to follow your gut or your third eye when it's telling you something important about a decision you're about to make or a situation you're walking into or a relationship that you're in. Trusting that and releasing control of the mind, the mental, logical, fact-based aspect of your brain that wants to argue the intuition, letting that go and surrendering that control over that mind to the intuitive mind, which is more of the right brain, okay? And that's where our creative aspect comes from, and that's where our spiritual connection comes from, and that's where we're transitioning, especially coming out of the 3D into the 5D. We use way more of our intuition, our third eye, our gut, and even our womb space, our sacral chakra. Men as well, we have that intuitive gut. We use those centers for information now more in the 5D than the 3D logical, factual based, hard, cold facts, black and white type separation thing. We are moving into the 5D. So that means trusting that intuition, letting go of doubt, letting go of resistance to following that intuition. If you get a random message and you just know that it's a gut feeling and you've got to follow it, then do so. It doesn't matter if you have to end a meeting or if you have to walk out of a room and if the other person doesn't understand because they're in the 3D. Oh well, just let it be, because that is part of us moving forward and us allowing ourselves to embody the 5D. If we want to stay in the 3D, then we choose that. We don't have to stay in the 3D. And if there's people around us that choose that, that's okay. But we don't have to make that choice. We can choose to be in the 5D by recognizing when we have the opportunity to follow our intuition or follow that divine guidance within us, instead of maybe something that's more structural or logical or more safe, okay? So that's really where we're at now. This is gonna get pretty intense now where I'm going with this, because this is something that we touched on last night. I did a channel and chill after the full moon reading that I did yesterday. I did a channel and chill last night, and it was super, super powerful. We had a huge turnout. A lot of people were there, and we dived into some really, really deep energy to clear and to activate. And so I want to talk about it a little bit, and there will be some edited clips available to you guys soon when I get them edited down, the audios. But in the meantime, let me just touch on a couple of things. So the healing of the divine masculine was intense last night, okay? First of all, let me say that the Divine Feminine Collective is what channeled through last night at this channel and chill. And it was a huge group of divine feminine energy that I was feeling and tapping into last night. And it was so, so powerful. And I know Josie was there. Josie's on here, I think, still. And so lots of energy. And so what was happening was that we were getting a lot of messages from the Divine Feminine Collective about healing and about releasing and about transmutation. But we were also getting a lot of encouragement and guidance. Hey, Josie, a lot of encouragement and guidance and energy to encourage us in our divine feminine power, and to also give us a lot of advice on what to do in certain situations when we're unsure or we're needing certain guidance in that divine feminine way, and how to use our divine feminine strength. Now, make sure you all know, if you're a male listening, that you have divine feminine energy as well within you. There's a divine feminine energy within every male and a divine feminine energy within every female and man. It's both in each, okay? So every woman has divine feminine and divine masculine. Every man has divine feminine, divine masculine. And it's important for us to be balanced in both. So going back into balance, we have felt this divine push towards balancing and healing either the divine masculine or the divine feminine, whichever is most potent and needing healing for the mass collective at that time. Last year, a lot of the divine feminine was healing and rising. And even the year before that, a lot of the healing was happening for the divine feminine. And we see that even in political structures and social structures that we've seen and movements that we've seen over the past few years. But we also see that we were rising. This divine feminine energy in all of us was rising, and we're feeling more intuitive and more self-loving and more nurturing of others, more compassionate, more available with capacity of our heart to open up and receive divine energy and to let go of some of the structural aspects of our mind. But with this Divine Feminine Collective of last night that channeled through, towards the end, we were tapping into some really powerful energy, and we got this intense, energetic activation and cleansing as a collective at this channel and chill event last night, where we were healing the Divine Masculine, and we were sending a lot of energy to a lot of the Divine Masculine energies in the world that are suffering, that have been torn down and beaten and disrespected, and who in turn hurt others, hurt people, right? And so it was all about that message of clearing that divine masculine hurt and pain that often causes aggression and violence and disrespect and things that no longer serve this world and humanity as we move forward into the 5D. And so we were clearing a lot of that by recognizing that that was a lot of pain covered up with aggression and anger and violence. And so we needed to dive into the seed of that and clear it away with love and this divine feminine collective. And so it was so powerful. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. So it's going to be really amazing. But I wanted to talk about that because if you need to clear your divine feminine or divine masculine, or I shouldn't say clear, but heal or transmute any energy there, clear any unwanted energy is really what I'm saying here. Let me give you a little bit of how you can tell the difference between your divine masculine healing and your divine feminine healing. So the divine masculine healing is a lot of clearing clearing of overbearingness, clearing of control, clearing of over-ego, overactivity, over-aggression, over-defensive-ness, okay? So these are some ways to know if you need divine masculine healing. If you're feeling overbearing, if you're feeling over-controlling, if you're feeling over-egoic, if you're feeling overactive, if you're feeling over-aggressive, or if you're feeling over-defensive. That's when you know that you're needing some divine masculine healing, okay? And then Divine Feminine Collective brought through energy of empowering intuition, nurturance, passion, creation, and compassion to kind of help clear that divine masculine energy. So that's ways that you can clear it and transmute that energy by empowering yourself, by opening up to your intuition, by giving yourself more self-love and nurturance, by diving into your deep passion and your true heart's desires, by creating more and finding ways to tap into your creative essence, and by also having compassion of yourself and others. That's how you heal that divine masculine. Now, if you need divine feminine healing, you will most likely be feeling oversensitive, feeling over emotional, feeling very also very defensive, but in a very hermit kind of way, like a shielding kind of way, wanting to kind of go within, feeling over isolated in a lot of ways as well. Divine feminine healing is also indicated in this sense of wanting to kind of lash out in resentment or jealousy or overactive criticism is my best way to say it, like overactive criticism. So that can be jealousy, that can be self-deprecating thoughts, that can be a lot of different things, this sense of just kind of defensiveness in that way. So that will be ways to know that you need divine feminine healing, and ways to counteract that. I'm going off the top here, I didn't write notes, and I have a crazy itch in my nose. I met this new guide, you guys, it's really funny. I met this new guide. I asked for a new guide that was going to help me be more intuitive, like even more intuitive. This is so intense because now I'm talking about it and it's like obvious. I have to tell you this story now because I'm getting like all this messages real quick, and then I'll get back into this. So I have this new guide, and this is a really good story for everybody because I think this is a good way to know if you've met a new guide and how to kind of understand that you're not making things up, okay? I asked for a new guide to help me become even more intuitive, right? And so I met them, and it's a mother and daughter pair, and one of them is for my personal intuition because I don't have as great of an intuition for others as I do for myself sometimes. I feel like I have a harder time getting messages for my personal life, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. And so I called on a guide for that, and then that was the daughter who's going to help me more with the personal intuition. And the mother was like this beautiful like African sage, and she's like this wise woman sage. And so I ask each of them every time I meet a new guide. Of course, I ask them, are you of the light? And I feel into their energy, and then they are, and then I let them come forth. But then I always have them give me a sign of validation, and you guys can do this too. This is really powerful. So I give them I ask them to give me a sign of validation that I'm actually connecting with them. Something on my body. I usually ask for something on my body because it's really hard to argue something on your body, right? Because it's very physical, and we usually want something physical, whether it's seeing something or hearing something or tasting or smelling something or feeling a sensation. So I usually ask for some kind of sensation on my body to validate, so that I also know that when they come through in the future, they give me that same sensation. I know that that's them I'm working with, because sometimes I can't see them, and sometimes I'm using other intuitive aspects. For whatever reason, this is important to some of you, so I'm glad that you're all sticking with me on this. Long story, longish. So the sign that I got from the sage, the wise woman, who is, her name is Aunt Assassina. And she's really, really beautiful, but she gives me this itch. And so she would give me like an itch behind my ear at first. And then I was doing a reading the other day, and she was giving me an itch, like not just behind my ear, because that was my first time connecting with her for somebody else to help guide in this reading. And my whole ear was like itching, like on fire. Like it felt like poison ivy on my ear. It was so intense. And I was like, okay, you have to tone that down. And then now when I was just talking, I was getting all these itches in my nose, and it was like so intense. And I'm like, okay, you have to turn this down, turn this down a little bit. I know that you're here now. You don't have to keep making my nose itch because it's awkward. So that's why my nose was just itching, I think, because she's coming through on this divine feminine collective healing. So if you feel like you need divine feminine collective healing, the way to counterbalance that is through giving yourself more self-control, more discipline, more ability to tap into your self-defense, protection, your ability to understand when you need to put up boundaries, when you need to give yourself more empowerment energy and more confidence, give yourself more self-awareness and self-love, and give yourself more of that kind of empowerment and ability to stand up for yourself and feel able to protect yourself in certain ways. So that would be a way to combat that divine feminine energy, to sum it all up, okay? So a lot of messages in there. Whoever that was for, if you guys need to know who your guides are and you're trying to figure out how to know that it's real, ask them for a sign to validate you on your body and just wait for it. And then if you get like an itch or a tingle or a tickle or something, then you'll know, and then just ask for it again to validate, and you'll get it again. You'll be like, okay, I feel pretty confident in this now. Okay, so moving forward, intuition is a tool for success, and we just talked about that. So we want to really just hone that in by saying, don't be afraid to use your intuition, and don't deny your intuition, because this is a crucial time for us all to use our intuition as a tool for success. And if we don't take advantage of that tool, it's a crucial tool. So if we don't take advantage of that, we're really going to be selling ourselves short on what we could be doing with the energy that we're in. Okay, now another thing that came up in the full moon reading that I did yesterday that I want to touch on for this week as well, because I think this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing for this week coming up, is soul contract awareness. We are going to start becoming way more aware of why our soul tribe and soul family are who they are to us, what contracts we have with them, what we've agreed to do for them, and what they've agreed to do for us, and also what soul contracts we've inherited from others or from past lives or from family members and ancestors even that we do inherit, and from guides. So there's a lot of soul contracts, and the energy of soul contracts, the understanding and the clarity around soul contracts is going to become more and more intense and more obvious to us this week, and I think over the next couple of weeks. So we're really going to start understanding, oh, I know exactly what I'm here to help this person with. I know exactly what they're here and they're doing for me, and I know exactly how to give back to them. Or I even remember, I have a vision, I have a remembrance, I have a dream that I did this for them in a past life, and now I'm back here doing it for them in this life to make sure that they feel it all the way. Or maybe they're doing it for me in this life to pay me back for what I did for them in a past life, or vice versa. So we're understanding that now. We're also understanding what soul contracts we've had with others in the past that are already up, that they're done. They're done. They're completely completed. They're just no longer serving either party, and they're agreed to be departed, and they're agreed to be separated and canceled. So there's a lot of soul contracts that can be canceled. There's a lot of soul contracts that are no longer necessary or relevant to our lives that we need to just let go of. And that's part of the letting go of the full moon that we experienced as well. And what that does is it opens up for new capacity for us to get new guides for our intuition, or new guides for something else, or new light within us to move forward, or a new person to come into our life to help us with something we do need, that we just released baggage of something we don't need, so we can replace that energy with. So super important to understand that. And I'm also still offering the $60 soul contract clearing, or just even soul contract reading and and cord cutting ceremony for only $60. So if you feel like you need to have a reading on what soul contracts are no longer serving you and how to clear those, then I'm offering that for $60 as a limited time offer, just because I was guided to. And cord cutting as well. Any energy that you feel like is being drained from you by other people or situations, then let's get that taken care of. Let's clear that away so that that no longer hinders your evolution, because that will kind of be like a bungee cord, just like holding you back. Okay, last thing is alignment is moving us into answered prayers this week. So by the end of the week, all of the alignment that we're going to feel from this full moon that we had in Scorpio, and all of the balance that we're feeling in the beginning of the week, transitioning more into that balance and understanding and certainty of it in the middle of the week, and then finally ending with an alignment, a full alignment and an understanding of that, will allow us to feel completely validated in some answered prayers that we've been asking for. So get ready for some unexpected and miraculous answered prayers and some really exciting news and positivity for the end of the week. Specifically, I'm feeling on that, okay? All right, real quick, astrology and numerology. Let's go into the highlights, okay? So Tuesday, the 21st, we have a lot of inner child joy and compassion with the Sun conjunct Mercury. And the Sun conjunct Mercury illuminates a lot of our relationships, our communication, and our inner child joy and compassion comes out in this communication and in our relationships because of the balance that we've been feeling. And we're getting a lot of goal-setting consciousness with this excitement to move forward, this excitement to create, this excitement to do this new project and to make it happen and to talk to these people and to have these meetings and to go do something really fun and exciting that you haven't done before. That inner child play from that debauchery is kind of moving into more of a purpose with this beginning of the week on Tuesday with the Sun conjunct and Mercury. So goal-setting consciousness, the balance that we feel, and self-certainty coming all together on Tuesday with that energy. And then the next day, Wednesday, the 22nd, imagination and creativity, more of that inner child play, more of that debauchery energy transmuting into more focus and balance for inner child imagination and creativity of all of the things that you want to create, and really feeling excited, feeling like you just have this fire within you, this light within you to keep moving, working tirelessly because of you are fueled with passion. There's just all of this excitement, and using your imagination to create even bigger plans and even more amazing ideas and goals and aspirations. And our higher mind is also going to be active because we have Mars sextiling Uranus on the 22nd, which means that we're very active with that Mars. We're very passionate with that Mars energy. And then we're merging that with the Uranus, the higher mind. And so we're feeling all of that aspect of being able to use the active energy and merge that with all of these amazing higher mind ideas. So passion, excitement, and an inner fire and confidence coming through for that one. Thank you guys for commenting. Kashan said, tapped into my intuition this past week, simplified a lot of my creative ideas, and set pure intentions to align myself with, which gave me much more clarity and sense of preparation. Beautiful. And All Connected says, I feel electricity in the same place. Wonderful. Hedwig says, feeling the creative juices, but also very dark energy. Okay, so if you are feeling a little dark energy, remember that we are still releasing with that full moon. So really call on the full moon, call on Archangel Michael, call on any energy that you need to release that. Any angelic energy is usually the best to release dark energy and shadow. And letting yourself really get to the bottom of what that shadow means. A lot of us needed to dive deep into our subconscious and understand what is being brought to us and why on a deeper level than just our conscious level. So can you find the root of when that dark energy started to exist and why is it there? What were you going through then? What belief systems did you attach yourself to during that time? What was the experience, or what were the triggers that were happening? What was the traumas that were happening? Because those roots are going to be where the dark energy is coming from, and that's why it's surfacing right now, because it's trying to show you that it needs to be cleared and that you have to go deeper to clear it. So go deeper and follow the light in with it. Use the light and go deeper. So call on Archangel Michael, call on an angelic guide, and then ask to go deeper to the root of that dark energy and when you started feeling it and why and where it came from. And then that will start to clear. And just breathe in light into that space. Okay, hopefully that helped you guys. And then, oh, Josie said 22nd is my nephew's 6th grade promotion. Awesome. All right, good, Hedwig. Yes, meditate on that and do that work because it's just letting you get deeper. It's just encouraging you to get deeper. And then Universal Goddess said, are you in the Arizona area? Yes, I am, and I do events in Scottsdale. So if you're interested, definitely hit me up because we do a lot of monthly events and I've got more coming, okay? All right, so moving forward, now we're talking about the next aspect of energy. So that was Wednesday, the 22nd. Now moving into the 26th, okay? The 26th, which is Saturday. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Sunday, next Sunday. So positive changes and visualizing the big picture for the highest good is going to be our focus at the end of this week in the completeness of the weekend and moving into next week, okay? So positive changes, just like we talked about, this is a really great energy to tap into because we just talked about all of the miraculous kind of answered prayers we're going to have in the end of the week. So definitely following that up with a validation here from astrology. The sun is sextiling Chiron. Chiron was founded in 1977. We didn't even know that that planet existed until 1977. It was already in Taurus, which was in the energy of an earth sign, but now Chiron's in Aries, so it's all about fire, a fiery energy with this planet. And Chiron represents a sacred healer. It is the sacred healer for our humanity, and it makes sense that the sacred healer would enter kind of later on to kind of start to heal what had been done, the damage that had been done in our human history. And so allowing us to feel that sacred healer over the last 40 to 50 years has allowed us to feel more aligned with the 5D and come into more of our own self. So we are feeling that sacred healer in Aries, and we're feeling that sacred healer with a fiery energy, with the Aries energy. So we're gonna get this fire in us to heal, and we're also gonna use kind of a fire energy to heal. I use the violet flame a lot, and that is something that I think a lot of us have been called to because it is a spiritual fire that burns away the energy that was no longer serving us or anything that is representative of something we need to heal from, and allowing ourselves to feel purified by that fire. And so it's just like the phoenix, we rise from the ashes of that fire. And I work with a guide called the Violet Flame Phoenix, and that guide came through paired with Isis last night for the Channel and Chill event and did an amazing transmuting, swooping, energetic vortex force last night to clear a lot of the energy, not just for the people in the room, but all the people that I connect with, as well as the mass consciousness. So you'll be able to feel that Violet Flame Phoenix as well, just by feeling that as us as a gateway for that. So tap into that violet flame and see if you can feel that sacred healing energy of fire. And then also the sun is using that energy of Chiron to and illuminating it and putting it into action and purpose. So we're feeling like we have a purpose in our healing, and that our healing is giving us more purpose. So we're more motivated to do it, and we have that fire lit within us to heal because we feel the benefits of it. And so we want more, which is so beautiful. So we're feeling all of that with the end of the week, and we're really entering our destiny and our progression and our ability to know our purpose and to feel completely confident in it. So that's really what we have to look forward to this week, which is like the most beautiful blessing ever, right? That is so amazing to be able to feel into the excitement and the understanding of our purpose, and to have answered prayers, and to have our destiny revealed and sacred healing with fire. So beautiful. Oh, yes. And Josie said, I love the feeling of the rays and heat and fire. Yes. She says, I love the sun. I wonder what this might mean. Yes. So the sun is very healing. And that's why a lot of ancient civilizations honored the sun and praised the sun so much, because the sun is such a healer. That sun energy, that warmth of the sun is very much a charge for us. We have a solar plexus right here for a reason. This energetic vortex right here in the middle of our core, right beneath our sternum and above our belly button, is our solar plexus. It's where we receive a lot of our power and confidence and our sense of action, which is what the sun does in the stars for astrology characteristics as well. So we literally charge that area of ourself from the sun. And when we go out into the sun and we sunbathe, we're charging our solar plexus. We're receiving that energy through our solar plexus. So if you're feeling like you need a lot of sunlight or you really enjoy it, then you most likely need some more solar plexus charge. Maybe you feel a little bit insecure about some things or a little bit self-doubting. And so you need a feeling of that sense of empowerment and movement forward. And you feel that sense of direction and even sometimes discipline and self-guidance and structure as well for the solar plexus. So any of those things can be part of the reason why you're drawn to the sun, or why you really allow or enjoy that type of energy charge, is that you're charging your solar plexus. And the sun does a lot of other healing too. All right. I think we are ready for cards. Yes? So let's all get nice and comfortable, and we will take 3 deep breaths together. I'll guide us, and then we'll pull some cards for the full moon. And I got a really cool thing that I'll show you guys, because I found out how to use my pendulum even more effectively, which was really exciting. But I'll tell you guys that in just a second. So let's get nice and comfortable. And when you're ready, let's take a nice deep inhale together. Big exhale to relax, releasing any tension. Deep breath in, full of love and gratitude as a collective here. Big exhale to relax, releasing any tension, any distractions, any energy that doesn't serve. Another deep breath, biggest one yet, opening up to all of the messages for this week, 5/19 to 5/26. Big exhale to relax fully as a collective. And we are a collective here, not just the ones here live, but also the ones watching afterwards and moving forward. So we thank everybody for joining, and we are all connected as one in this beautiful, loving energy, ready to pull cards for the week coming up. So I have to show you this trick. I was watching Gaia TV, and there's this doctor, I think her name was Dr. Lisa or something like that, but she's an engineer, and then she became like this psychic, right? And she learned about the science of psychic energy. And so she was teaching everybody in the audience how to use the pendulum correctly, and I had like the most mind-blowing experience. So she was telling me that us, she was telling me, we're friends. No, I was watching it, but she was telling us that each finger has a different electromagnetic charge, and it alternates. So the first finger, your index finger, is positive, then the next finger is negative, the other finger is positive, this finger is negative. So positive, negative, okay? And then the thumb is neutral. Okay, now you also have 2 hands, one for receiving and one for holding the pendulum. This is about pendulum stuff, so don't get confused when I explain this, because I know that the left hand is usually for receiving, but that's not always the case for the pendulum hand. So to find your receiving pendulum hand, you literally just don't even think about it. You like reach out and grab something, okay? And this is your receiving hand, okay? It's actually this one for me, but because I had my hand focused, it doesn't matter. So this is my receiving hand, okay? So if I picked it up, if my gut thing told me to pick it up with this hand, this is my receiving hand. So you know that you are receiving energy with this hand. So if you want to know if you want to, say for this example, right, because I have my cards right here. Sorry guys, by the way, I have my cards. And so if I want to know what card deck I want to pull from today for the weekly reading, that's why I'm doing this. So I'm first going to hold the pendulum in the opposite of my receiving hand, because I want to have my receiving hand free so I can hold things and see if the pendulum likes it or not. But the way I hold the pendulum is important, because we have positive, negative, and the neutral. So we want to use 3 fingers, one positive, one negative, and one neutral. So they come together into a perfect trinity balance. So you don't use that finger or this finger. You use these 3 fingers, positive, negative, and the neutral. And then that's how you actually get the read. And so now you're using your energetic trinity of electromagnetic energy to provide a divine balance of energetic pulse to the pendulum. So then when you're holding something in your receiving hand, should we use these cards? It's already starting to act up, see? Should we use these cards? I'm holding it in my receiving hand. For the weekly reading, do we want to pull from these cards? Okay, so we're getting a circle. Circle is a yes for my pendulum. I know that because I will ask it a very obvious yes or no question, and then when I first get the pendulum, I'll ask it a very obvious yes or no question, and then that will determine which way it swings, will be determining which one is yes and which one's no, because they will do a different swing. So it says yes, okay, and circle is a yes usually, but not always. Some pendulums are really tricky, so you got to kind of develop your relationship with a pendulum, because I've seen some pendulums circle one way for yes and one way for no. They don't do it up and down. So some pendulums are different. This one is a circle for yes and a straight up and down is a no. But not all pendulums are like that, and I do not want people to get that assumption. You should never have assumption with spirit, because spirit will always prove you wrong. Spirit will always trick you if you start to assume and think you know it all. Okay, that's like the biggest thing. And so we want to do that. So we'll pull this card first, right? So this will be the first card since it did a little circle. So I thought that was great, and I've been playing with my pendulum like crazy since. I got a card right away from that. See how quick it popped up? And so I've been playing with the pendulum ever since, because I just feel like I have a brand new relationship with my pendulum now. Okay, so I'm going to see if we want to pull from this card deck. Just going to keep using this system. Do we want to pull from this card deck for the weekly? Okay, up and down. You guys see that? You can probably barely see it, but it's like it's going up and down, up and down. See it? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so no for that one. Okay, so let's see this one. I'm gonna do it at a tilt so you guys can see. Holding it still. All right, so what about this one? Should we do it for, should we pull the middle of the week card from this deck? Circle. You guys see the circle? Circle, circle, circle. So yes, middle of the card, or middle of the week card. I'm getting all distracted because I'm trying to teach you guys this and do this at the same time. You never know what you're going to get out of Rissa Vibes reading. You're just always going to get some kind of teaching or some kind of extra something. That's why our readings are so long, but they're so much fun, right? It's the inner child play in me, you guys. I'm letting it explore. Okay, let's see if this is the end of the card. It probably is, since it's the last deck available, but maybe they'll have us go back to Isis card deck. So let's see, should we do the end of the card, or the end of the week card for this deck? Circle. Strong circle. Okay, stronger circle when I said that. See that? So sometimes you can ask it to do a stronger circle. It is always so fun, all connected, isn't it? Okay, so end of the week cards here. We got the divine guidance all the way, all the way. And this is essentially what I do with my third eye when I'm pulling the cards originally. I just don't use the pendulum usually because it takes a little bit more time, obviously, but it was fun this time because, you know, I learned a new way to be more accurate with it. But usually, well, that's why I have so many card decks, is because my third eye just tells me, okay, like that one, nope, this one for the middle of the week, nope, that one for the end, okay? So same kind of thing, and that'll be the same for you guys when you use your pendulums and your intuition. All right, beginning of the week card. Balance. This is so on point. Didn't we just talk about spirit messages, the balance that we're moving into from the debauchery? And then didn't we just talk about the balance that we have for the astrology in the middle of the, or in the beginning of the week as well, with all of that energy? So, hey-o, there you go. There's a ton of validation and synchronicities there, which is funny because last night's cards for the full moon was synchronicities. So we're also going to have a lot of synchronicities with that. And so balance, we've got Archangel Gabriel coming through with the balance, that beautiful Leonardo da Vinci man, and just this beautiful energy of this turquoise blue meeting the third eye blue, the indigo blue. So we're feeling a lot of the balance of communication and the third eye, feeling that intuitive speaking and feeling balanced in the ability to speak intuitively and to use your intuition as a tool. Remember, we talked about that as well. So all of the balance there for that beautiful synchronicity for the beginning of the week card, Balance by Archangel Gabriel. Middle of the week, okay, super interesting and important. Let go. Let go. And we talked about in the middle of the week with the spirit messages and in the astrology to really trust your intuition and let go of doubt. of your intuition. Let go of fear of trusting your intuition. Let go of that aspect of control that you might have that is overpowering, or any kind of energy that feels imbalanced as well. Let go of things that you know aren't serving you and that aren't in alignment with your destiny and with what you want. It's time to let go. And that's going to be in the middle of the week, okay? And it says, once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. So this is also letting go of the outcome, okay? Just releasing that control and knowing that no matter what happens, it's going to be okay, especially if you're following your intuition and you're letting go of that doubt. And then it says, trust in the higher good and guidance of spirit, as we have only your best intentions at heart and will do everything in our power to protect you. So trusting that intuition, letting go of doubt. Do not fear, do not doubt it. It has your highest good and your highest energy and well-being in mind always, and your highest intention in mind. Okay, and the end of the week card, body care. What an important card, and super important that it comes up that we did not touch on body care, and it's important that we do. They're saying that in the weekend we're going to need to really make sure that we focus on what we're eating. What are we fueling our body with? Are we listening to our body? Are we resting? Are we giving ourselves time to relax and find a way to refuel our body, especially with all of the activity that we're going to be having this week coming up that we're going to feel. So allow yourself to tap into body care by the end of the week. Don't neglect that self-love when we've been on such a roll this week moving forward, having such great activations and miracle energy and these impossible things happening and positive changes and all of these amazing kind of guidances from our higher self and our intuition. Don't lose that traction at the end of the week by not listening to your body and not giving yourself that body recharge and that body care, because our body is physical. It's not as spiritual as our spirit. So we have to make sure we take care of it like a fragile thing, because it is. Our spirit is much more resilient than our body is. We know this because our spirit is eternal, right? So remind yourself of that and make sure you're taking care of your body, okay? So one review real quick. Balance in the beginning of the week, letting go in the middle of the week, letting go of doubt, trusting the spirit, and focusing on body care at the end of the week, okay? Taking a couple deep breaths, if you can, just allowing yourself to sink into those messages and receive them fully. And I will be live again next week, 1:11 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, next Sunday. Message me if you want a personal reading, intuitive counseling, mentoring, cosmic connection reading, mediumship, past life, energy cleansing, cord cutting, or the soul contract clearing as well. So any of these things that you need, message me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, at readingsbyrissa on Instagram. I keep saying Rissa Vibes like it's my handle, but it's not. But I love you all, okay? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for all of your love. Thank you for all connecting together and encouraging each other on this web of light community that we've built. So important that we keep it going. Share these readings with a friend that you know needs it. If you have a friend struggling, don't exude all of your energy by trying to pull them out. Send them a message that helped you get out of your mess. Send them something that you healed with and allowed them to heal through that, so you don't drain yourself, and you can also provide more avenues and more resources for their own self-healing through this work as well. So this is why we do it. This is why I come on here and do all of this, so that you can share it and you can give it to those who need it, because I know there's so many people who need these kinds of encouragements and learnings and understandings and teachings and all of that. And vibrations, just the good vibrations of support and love that we build here is amazing. So thank you all so much. I love you, and I will see you next week. And hopefully I'll see you even before that on IGTV at my IG at Readings by Rissa, where I do daily videos every day to talk about all the messages that we talked about here, and we tap in even deeper. I love you. Have a wonderful day. Peace. Oh, and pay attention to that community page, okay? Because there's a lot of awesome stuff that I'm putting up on there now. I'll be posting some intuitive art every week after these readings. I also do daily vibes, affirmations for the tribe, so that you can say these positive things to yourself every day and feel that support.